On April 24, 2022, a quiet Ohio neighborhood became the backdrop for a crime that would shock the nation. Amanda Hovanec, a mother of three, orchestrated a chilling murder, injecting her estranged husband Timothy Hovanec with a potent animal tranquilizer. What followed was an intricate web of deception and collaboration involving her mother, Anita Green, and her lover, Anthony Theodorou. Their actions would leave an indelible mark on their family and send shockwaves through the justice system. Timothy Hovanec, a dedicated U.S. Department of State researcher, was no stranger to complex challenges. Yet his most trying battle was not abroad but at home, a custody dispute with his estranged wife. This fight for his children's future would ultimately lead to his tragic demise. Captured partially on the dashcam of Timothy's own vehicle, the harrowing events of that day paint a chilling portrait of premeditated violence. Federal investigators would later uncover a plot spanning years, involving a controlled substance rarely seen outside veterinary medicine. As the case unraveled, it revealed a tragic blend of betrayal, ambition, and desperation. In this in-depth exploration, we'll uncover the details of this horrific crime, piece together the events leading up to it, and examine the ripple effects it had on the lives of those involved. This is the story of a murder rooted in family discord, where trust was shattered and lives were irrevocably changed. Amanda and Timothy Hovanec seem to embody the modern American family. Timothy's career as a U.S. Department of State researcher brought the family opportunities to live abroad, fostering a sense of adventure and achievement. However, beneath the surface, tensions were brewing that would eventually spiral into tragedy. The Hovanecs, along with their three daughters, lived in several countries, including Germany and South Africa, as Timothy's assignments took them across the globe. It was during their 2-year stint in South Africa, starting in 2018, that Amanda met Anthony Theodorou, a South African citizen. Their connection quickly developed into a romantic relationship, and by 2020, Amanda had filed for divorce after the family returned to the United States. The divorce marked the beginning of a bitter custody battle. Amanda and Timothy each sought primary custody of their daughters, but the legal proceedings only deepened the divide between them. Amanda began actively denying Timothy visitation rights, even in defiance of court orders. By December 2021, Timothy had filed multiple contempt motions against Amanda for her refusal to comply. The court hearings culminated in April 2022, when a judge issued a ruling granting Timothy visitation and designating him the residential parent and legal custodian for the summer months. While this decision represented a significant legal victory for Timothy, it also intensified the animosity between the former couple. Amanda, unwilling to let go of control, began planning her ex-husband's murder as a way to prevent him from spending time with their daughters. This fraught history set the stage for the events of April 24, 2022. Timothy's trip to Ohio, intended to exercise his court-ordered visitation rights, would tragically become his last. Unbeknownst to him, Amanda's plans for violence were already in motion, involving not only her, but also her mother, Anita Green, and her lover, Anthony Theodorou. Together they conspired to execute a plan that would forever shatter their family. April 24, 2022, began as a seemingly ordinary day for Timothy Hovanec, who was determined to spend time with his daughters as per the court's recent visitation order. He had taken them for a weekend stay at a Best Western hotel, enjoying moments together that included swimming in the hotel's pool. However, what should have been a simple custody exchange later that evening turned into a nightmare. Around 7 p.m., Timothy arrived at the Wapakoneta, Ohio, home of Amanda Hovanec, where she lived with her mother, Anita Green. Unbeknownst to Timothy, Amanda had meticulously planned his murder, enlisting the help of Green and her South African boyfriend, Anthony Theodorou, to execute her sinister plot. As Timothy pulled up in his Volkswagen Tiguan, the dash camera in his vehicle began recording what would become crucial evidence in the case. The footage showed Amanda greeting Timothy and their 3 daughters. "I have a surprise for you inside," Amanda told the children as Anita led them into the house. Seconds later, Timothy can be heard saying, "What the heck are you doing? Did you just assault me?" Followed by his frantic cries of, "Get away from me! Get off me!" as Amanda attacked him. Amanda, armed with a syringe containing M99, a powerful animal tranquilizer approximately 1,000 times more potent than morphine, wrestled with Timothy. The dashcam recorded her pulling on his shirt and aggressively swatting away his cell phone as he tried to call for help. She eventually knocked the phone to the ground, leaving Timothy defenseless. With terrifying precision, Amanda injected the M99 into Timothy's shoulder. Within moments, the drug began to take effect, and Timothy's body went limp. The footage captured Amanda holding him down around the neck, not choking him, but immobilizing him until he stopped moving entirely. She then picked up his cell phone, removed his smartwatch, and turned off his vehicle's engine, causing the dashcam to stop recording. Timothy's lifeless body was left in the driveway as Amanda began the next phase of her plan. With help from Theodorou, who had traveled to Ohio to assist her, and Anita Green, she wrapped Timothy's body in a plastic garbage bag and moved it into the garage. They then abandoned Timothy's car in Dayton and disposed of various pieces of evidence, including his cell phone, smartwatch, license plate, and the syringe used to inject him. Later that evening, Amanda and Theodorou transported Timothy's body to a wooded area near farmland her family once owned. Using shovels taken from Anita's home, they buried him in a shallow grave, completing their macabre mission. Anita, fully aware of what had transpired, drove the pair to and from the burial site, ensuring her role as an accessory to the crime. The investigation into Timothy Hovanec's disappearance began almost immediately after he failed to check out of his hotel in Wapakoneta, Ohio. Hotel staff, concerned by the belongings left behind in his room, including potentially sensitive equipment tied to his job as a U.S. Department of State researcher, alerted local law enforcement. This triggered a chain of events that would unravel Amanda Hovanec's carefully constructed plan. Authorities quickly traced Timothy's last known whereabouts to Amanda's residence, where he had dropped off his daughters. His Volkswagen Tiguan, equipped with a dash camera, was discovered abandoned in Dayton, nearly 60 miles from Wapakoneta. This vehicle would prove to be the pivotal piece of evidence that cracked the case wide open. When investigators reviewed the footage from the dash camera, they uncovered a chilling narrative of Timothy's final moments. The recording captured Amanda's confrontation with Timothy, including her swatting away his cell phone, physically restraining him, and ultimately administering the fatal injection of M99. These visuals, combined with his desperate cries for help, left no doubt about Amanda's direct involvement in the crime. Further scrutiny of Amanda's actions revealed a calculated effort to cover her tracks. She confessed to driving Timothy's car to Dayton, where she abandoned it. Along the way, she disposed of crucial evidence, including the syringe used for the injection, his cell phone, his smartwatch, and the vehicle's license plate. Despite these efforts, her attempts to erase the crime trail were futile against the weight of the dashcam footage. Investigators also uncovered critical information from Amanda's co-conspirators. Under questioning, Anthony Theodorou, Amanda's South African boyfriend, admitted to procuring the M99 used to kill Timothy. He revealed that the drug had been obtained from a veterinarian in South Africa and shipped to Ohio specifically for the murder. Additionally, Anita Green, Amanda's mother, confessed to her role in the crime, admitting that she had known about her daughter's plan and actively assisted in the disposal of Timothy's body. The physical evidence found at the burial site, a shallow grave in a wooded area near farmland once owned by Amanda's family, further corroborated their confessions. Theodorou led investigators to the location, where Timothy's body was exhumed and positively identified. The burial tools, sourced from Anita's home, tied all three conspirators to the crime. The thorough investigation was conducted by the FBI Cleveland Division, Lima Resident Agency, the Auglaize County Sheriff's Office, the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation, BCI, and the Lucas County Coroner's Office. Their collaborative efforts ensured that the evidence against Amanda, Anthony, and Anita was airtight, leading to federal charges that would hold them accountable for their roles in the crime. At the heart of this heinous crime lay a deeply rooted custody dispute that escalated into calculated murder. Amanda Hovanec's motive was clear. She was determined to prevent her estranged husband, Timothy, from gaining custody of their three daughters. The court's ruling in April 2022 granting Timothy residential custody for the summer months became the final catalyst for her plan. Amanda had been considering ways to eliminate Timothy for over a year. Court documents revealed that she explored alternate methods, including hiring a hitman before settling on a more personal and controllable approach, administering a fatal dose of M99. This substance, also known as etorphine, is a Schedule I controlled drug used exclusively in veterinary medicine for sedating large animals. Its potency, approximately 1,000 times stronger than morphine, meant it would act quickly and lethally. Anthony Theodorou, Amanda's boyfriend, played a crucial role in the planning. During their time in South Africa, Amanda and Anthony began their relationship, and he became an accomplice in her plot. Using his connections, Theodorou obtained M99 from a veterinarian and shipped it to Ohio. This act not only supplied Amanda with the murder weapon, but also cemented his complicity in the crime. Amanda confided in her mother, Anita Green, about her intentions long before the murder. According to Anita's later statements, Amanda openly discussed her plan to kill Timothy as a way to prevent the court-ordered visitation from taking place. Anita claimed she did not believe her daughter would go through with it, but admitted to being complicit once the crime was underway. The plan was meticulous. Amanda chose the date of the murder strategically, aligning it with Timothy's scheduled drop-off of the children. She ensured the M99 was ready and coordinated with both Theodorou and Green to execute the crime and dispose of the evidence. The burial site, a wooded area near farmland once owned by Amanda's family, was selected in advance for its seclusion and familiarity. The planning extended beyond the murder itself. Amanda and her co-conspirators arranged for Timothy's car to be abandoned in a different city to mislead investigators and disposed of critical evidence, including the syringe, his phone, and his smartwatch. These efforts underscored the premeditation and deliberation behind the crime. Amanda's motive was rooted not only in her animosity toward Timothy, but also in her refusal to relinquish control over her children. The custody ruling, which would have allowed Timothy to spend significant time with their daughters, represented a loss of that control, a prospect she found intolerable. Her extreme actions, fueled by resentment and desperation, led to a plan that would ultimately destroy multiple lives. The legal proceedings surrounding Timothy Hovanec's murder were as complex as the crime itself. The evidence against Amanda Hovanec, her mother Anita Green, and her boyfriend Anthony Theodorou was overwhelming, thanks to the dashcam footage, physical evidence, and confessions. The federal charges brought against them ensured they faced severe penalties. Amanda was the central figure in the murder plot. Following her arrest, she initially attempted to deny her involvement but eventually confessed to injecting Timothy with M99, abandoning his vehicle, and burying his body. She pleaded guilty to multiple charges, including the distribution of a controlled substance resulting in death. In October 2024, Amanda was sentenced to 40 years in federal prison. U.S. District Judge James R. Knepp II also imposed 10 years of supervised release following her sentence and ordered her to pay more than $2 million in restitution. This amount was intended to cover the future care of her three daughters, now left without both parents. Amanda's guilty plea and cooperation likely influenced the sentence length, sparing her a potentially harsher outcome had she gone to trial. Theodorou played a key role in the crime by procuring the M99 and assisting in the disposal of Timothy's body. His involvement was instrumental, yet he also cooperated with investigators, leading them to the burial site and admitting his role in the murder. He was charged with conspiracy to import, importation, and distribution of a controlled substance that resulted in death. In his sentencing, he received 18 years in federal prison and 3 years of supervised release. The judge also ordered him to share responsibility with Amanda and Anita for the $2 million restitution payment. Theodorou's willingness to cooperate with law enforcement likely reduced his sentence. As an accessory to the crime, Anita Green admitted to driving Amanda and Theodorou to the burial site and providing the tools used to dig the grave. While she claimed she initially doubted Amanda would follow through with her plan, her active participation after the murder sealed her fate. Green pleaded guilty to being an accessory after the fact. She was sentenced to 10 years in prison and 2 years of supervised release. Her relatively lighter sentence reflected her secondary role and her cooperation with authorities during the investigation. Assistant U.S. Attorneys Alyssa Sterling and Michelle Bepler led the prosecution, presenting a case that highlighted the premeditated and callous nature of the crime. U.S. Attorney Rebecca Lutzko described Amanda's actions as cold-blooded, calculated, and cruel, emphasizing the impact of Timothy's murder on his children and family. The murder of Timothy Hovanec left an indelible mark on his family, especially his 3 young daughters. Losing their father to a violent crime orchestrated by their own mother has undoubtedly created profound emotional and psychological trauma. While the restitution payments ordered by the court, over $2 million, were intended to provide for their future care, the true impact on their lives remains immeasurable. Family members of Timothy have largely remained private, and limited public statements have been made. Prosecutors acknowledged the devastation felt by Timothy's loved ones, emphasizing the tragic loss of a father who had fought tirelessly to maintain a relationship with his children. U.S. Attorney Rebecca Lutzko expressed the hope that the sentencing of Amanda, Anita, and Anthony would bring some sense of closure to the family as they work to heal from this unimaginable tragedy. At this time, there is no additional public information detailing the long-term aftermath for Timothy's daughters or extended family. The focus remains on the legal resolution of the case and ensuring justice for the victim. The murder of Timothy Hovanec is a chilling reminder of how personal conflicts can spiral into unimaginable violence. What began as a custody battle turned into a meticulously planned and executed crime, leaving a family shattered and 3 young children without their father. Through the relentless efforts of law enforcement and prosecutors, those responsible were brought to justice, ensuring that Timothy's story will not be forgotten. As we close this chapter, we reflect on the profound consequences of this tragedy, not just for the victim, but for everyone involved. The ripple effects of this crime will continue to be felt for years, serving as a somber, cautionary tale of what happens when bitterness and desperation take control. If you found this story compelling, we encourage you to subscribe to our channel for more in-depth true crime narratives. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video to help us bring these important stories to a wider audience. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.